the Duels of Daytona as we are getting set for race number 2 of the night. Race number 2 of the Duels here from Daytona as we will set the outside row for the Daytona 500. Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson will start on the front row in today's race. And we will see who will also race their way into the Daytona 500. Now, just like in Duel race number 1, any driver who does not finish this race, they will be going to a backup car and will be going behind the wall, or be going to the back of the pack on Sunday. That means Brad Keselowski has a lot on the line in that number 2 as he's on the outside of the front row. Then you had the 48 of Jimmy Johnson in his final Daytona 500, his final dual race here at Daytona. On row 2, you have Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott. And running out your top 5, the 22 of Joey Logano alongside last year's 500 winner, Denny Hamlin. Then you have William Byron and rookie Cole Custer on row number 4. And Alex Bowman and Tyler Reddick rounding out your top 10. Now, just like what we did in dual race number 1, we're going to go through some of the go-or homers, some of the open cars that are trying to race their way in. Now, we had the 16, that is Justin Haley for Colleague Racing. We know Justin Haley will race on Sunday because of his qualifying speed. We also know that the 96 of Daniel Suarez will race on Sunday because of his qualifying speed. But they both have a shot to transfer their way into the show by racing your way in. That leaves a few more guys back here. At number 7, that is Justin Allgaier, Xfinity Series driver trying to race his way in for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Then you have the number 99 of Casey Mears for Starcom Racing. And then the 53 for Joey Gase for Rickwar Racing. Now, Joey Gase and Casey Mears, those two drivers are like Timmy Hill and Tommy Joe Martins. They must race their way into the Daytona 500. Justin Allgaier is a lot more like Brendan Gaughan. They can rely on their qualifying speed. Maybe. We'll have to see how this race plays out. But those are the storylines coming in here to dual race number 2. Let's get those engines fired as we go down trackside for opening ceremonies.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks.
Drivers, start your engines!
All right. Getting set to go green here for 25 laps at Daytona. We only had one caution in that first dual race, but there was some pretty intense racing up at the front. We saw 3 wide, we saw 4 wide. What will we see here in this race? Normally when we see a very intense race, the next one's a little bit more reserved, a little bit more calm. You know, a lot of these drivers have said that they may even hang around in the back for the entire race just so they can keep their car in one piece. Guys like Garrett Smithley in that 51 car, Parker Klugerman in the 77, 2 of those drivers said that they would be just riding around in the back. Has their strategy changed since those comments were made? As we're coming up front, the pace car is in pit lane and the green flag is waving in the air. We're back underway at Daytona for dual race number 2. And it is a pretty even start here at the front. Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson in your front row side by side as Keselowski is being pushed by the 4 of Kevin Harvick. And now coming out turn 2, there goes the 4 to the inside of that's Kevin Harvick with Joey Logano behind him in that 22. Logano, one of the most aggressive drivers when it comes to super speedway races. We said the same thing about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in dual race number 1, and Joey Logano is that aggressive driver we have here in dual race number 2. And just like how we left off with duel number 1, they are 3 wide for the lead. Keselowski, Harvick, and Logano. And like we were saying earlier, these Fords once again showing that they have the speed to run here up at the front. We have 3 Fords side by side for the lead still. That's Jimmy Johnson pushing Keselowski out in front. We have Alex Bowman behind Harvick. And that's the 37 of Ryan Preece on the inside behind Logano. And right in the middle of this pack is the 16 of Justin Haley. In that 16 car. And there's the number 7 of Justin Allgaier. He is in front of Suarez, Mears, and Joey Gase. And we are still 3 wide for the lead at the front with Keselowski, Harvick, and Logano. But this time, Logano doesn't have any help. Can't really see him hanging in there as they make their way down the back straightaway. Now Logano has help from the 42 of Kyle Larson as Keselowski clears Harvick. He got a little bit loose right there on the outside, and here comes Harvick and Logano. You saw Keselowski get loose. That really checked out that entire outside lane. And look at the guy on the inside. That is Justin Haley. He is very good when it comes to racing on these restrictor plate tracks. He nearly won an Xfinity race here at Daytona in July of 2018. He's now being put in a 3-wide battle with Ryan Preece and Denny Hamlin. While up front, it is Logano and now Kyle Larson going for the lead in that 42 car. Talked about Ryan Preece being pretty good and Justin Haley being pretty good at restrictor plate racing. Kyle Larson hasn't really had any success when it comes to Daytona and Talladega. He does have that one Xfinity win that almost went to Justin Haley, but it ended up going to Kyle Larson. And at the line, Larson is going to lead that lap at the line. As we check in with some of the guys in the back, there's the 53 of Joey Gase. This team has really struggled to find speed this entire time we've been down here in Daytona, really since they unloaded. This is a 4th car out of Rick Roar Racing, and they do not have any speed right now. Parker Kligerman's also back here. We know Kligerman's back here because they said that they are trying to keep that Spire Motorsports Chevrolet in one piece. And they're trying to do that by just riding around in the back. Same can be said by the 51 of Garrett Smithley. Same cannot be said though by the 99 of Casey Mears. He is trying to race his way in, but he has already lost the lead pack. He is only in 20th place. There's the 52 of David Reagan. And the 7 of Justin Allgaier. He's now lost the lead draft. This is now a 17-car pack here at Daytona. Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, 3 wide up here for the lead. There's that number 8 of Tyler Reddick, 16 of Justin Haley. There's Suarez on the bottom of that 96 with Toyota teammate Christopher Bell, the rookie in that number 95. And back here, Kurt Busch and William Byron starting to lose a little bit of time. Might want to get single file so they can close back in up here on the leaders. Ooh, Ryan Preece got pretty loose back here in that 37 car. Preece had to get out of the gas, and so did Eric Jones and a lot of these guys back here. You see the distance they lost to the lead pack. There's Justin Haley going by, Christopher Bell in that 95 car, Tyler Reddick. And up front, the 48 getting pushed to the lead by the 11 of Denny Hamlin. They coming down to the line. It'll be 13 laps to go here at Daytona. Brad Keselowski continues to lead on that outside lane. We saw pole sitter Ryan Blaney take home the W in his duel race. Can his teammate Keselowski do the same? He's going to get a little bit sideways with that push from Kyle Larson. And he's going to lose the lead right there lose the lead to Kevin Harvick and the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. And look at the 95, Christopher Bell. He's now worked his way up here inside that top 5 in that 95 car. And trouble for Kurt Busch and William Byron. They have now lost the lead pack as well. There's Allgaier in the 7. He's in the wall as Casey Mears just completed that pass on David Reagan to move into 19th. Mears now trying to take that spot away from Allgaier. That would put Mears the 3rd highest go homer, but he would need one more spot if he wants to race on Sunday. One of those spots belongs to Justin Haley. Should Mears get up here and get around the 16 or the 96 of Daniel Suarez, he would be in the show. Denny Hamlin now on the inside of the 48 with help from the 95. Denny Hamlin will go to the lead here off turn number 4. And it looks like Haley has started to lose touch with this lead pack here as well. It was around this time in Duel race number 1 when the tires started to go pretty bad. The handling started to go away. And that's where a lot of the crazy racing started to begin. And you see a lot of these drivers starting to lose the lead draft. You have to wonder, is that the tires going away? You have to believe so, because we have Chase Elliott back here. We have Eric Jones. They have already lost the draft pretty quickly. I mean, they were just up here about a lap and a half ago, so you have to know the handling is starting to go away on a lot of these cars. Up front, though, it is Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson, your front row. Or your top 2. Then you have the pushers, Christopher Bale and Kevin Harvick. And now Bale going to make a 3 wide. He has his good friend Kyle Larson pushing him in that 42 car. It'll be 14 laps to go this time by for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. The 7-time series champion enters this year his final full season in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. His final race in the Daytona 500 and his final race here in the Duels from Daytona. He's leading Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. But now Harvick goes back to the inside of Hamlin as Kyle Larson is going to put him 3 wide. Back here, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, who's having a really strong run in that 96 car. He didn't really have a lot of speed when it came to qualifying. He was 3rd highest, though, of the open cars. But he's doing a pretty nice job in that 96 for Marty Gaunt's Gaunt Brothers Racing Team. He has Ryan Preece behind him. And there's Cole Custer back here. He has already lost the draft along with Chase Elliott. William Byron and Kurt Busch, they have now caught Justin Haley. And Casey Mears has now caught Justin Allgaier. If Kurt Busch and William Byron were somehow to pull away from Justin Haley and leave Haley by himself, could this trio of Allgaier, Reagan, and Casey Mears, could that lead them up to Justin Haley? There's a good chance that would happen, but because Haley is now in this lead pack with Byron and Kurt Busch, and soon to be Eric Jones, Casey Mears is in trouble. And a lot of these guys are. Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez, they're just starting to lose that lead pack more and more as we are coming down to about 10 laps to go here at Daytona. It is a 7-car pack that has broken away, being led by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. But now here comes the 22 of Joey Logano. Three wide for the lead. Brad Keselowski now goes to the inside of his teammate Logano. On the outside is the 48 of Johnson. Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin also in this mix, along with the rookie Christopher Bell. All three of the rookies, or all three of the drivers from the Big Three in the Xfinity Series 1 year ago, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, and Tyler Reddick, they are all in this dual race. Right now, Christopher Bell having a pretty strong run here in that 95 car. Well, unless we get a yellow flag, things are not looking good for Joey Gase and the 99 of Casey Mears. Mears, who's kind of almost scraped the wall there off turn number 4. Casey Mears finished second in this race back in 2006. He drove here for Chip Ganassi, then drove here for Rick Hendrick. Drove here for 1 year for RCR, then he piloted the number 90 for Curtis Key's old Key Motorsports team, and then drove here for several years for Germain Racing until last year when he drove a car for kind of a mixture of Germain Racing and Premium Motorsports. Has had a little bit of success in the Daytona 500, but right now it's not looking good for the driver of the 99. In fact, the 7 of Allgaier and the 52 of David Reagan, they have driven away from that 99. And now the 95 of Christopher Bell has already lost the six-pack up front. And here they are, the 6 drivers who have driven away, and they have left everybody else in the dust. You have to wonder what in the world is going on with some of these guys like Cole Custer, like Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and you see Bell scraping the wall there on the front stretch. So it's going to come down to one of these 6 drivers up front. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski. And it will be 7 laps to go next time by. One more time, the top 2 transfer drivers are Daniel Suarez and Justin Haley. Now, Suarez and Haley are in with their qualifying time. But like we said, if they race their way in, Brendan Gaughan and Justin Allgaier will make the 500 on their qualifying speed. Casey Mears and Joey Gase will go home. But one scenario that you want to remember, let's say Justin Haley blows a motor. Let's say Haley falls out the race and Mears gets by. Then Suarez and Mears, Haley and Gaughan would get the transfer spot. That would send Justin Allgaier home. Now, if Haley and the 96 of Suarez would have a problem, both of those cars and Allgaier and Mears be the 2 transfer drivers, that would mean Brendan Gaughan would have to go home in the Daytona 500. So there's a lot of different scenarios going on that could happen should something happen to Justin Haley and Daniel Suarez. Right now, Suarez, he's not racing up here towards the lead, but he is in a pretty good pack with about 5 other cars. Suarez is still having a very, very strong run for Gaunt Brothers Racing. He's putting on one heck of a show here inside the top 10. This team racing against teams like Hendrick and RCR, JTG Doherty Racing, and of course their Toyota teammate, manufacturer of Levon Family Racing. 5 laps to go here in Daytona. The slowest car on track is Joey Gase. He's about a good 2, almost 3 seconds slower than our race leaders. But with coming up to 4 laps to go this time by, with them coming off turn 4 and Gase entering turn number 1, They should not catch any lap traffic before the checker flag waves here in duel number 2. And Denny Hamlin has gone to the lead in the 11. A lot of drivers are pointing out for this number 11 of Denny Hamlin to be the favorite to win the Daytona 500. A little bit of contact from Kyle Larson and Kevin Harvick, but it does propel the 4 alongside the 11 as they race down the back straightaway. Coming to 3 laps to go, this time by for the number 4 of Happy Harvick. It is now a 5-car breakaway as you see the 22 of now Joey Logano losing touch with the top 5. So it is now a 5-man race to win dual race number 2. We have never seen a dual race like this before, where just a group of 5 to 6 drivers have completely separated themselves from everybody else under green flag conditions. You have to wonder, is a lot of these drivers just trying to save their equipment, their primary car, for the race that matters, that is the Daytona 500. Kurt Busch back here with Cole Custer and William Byron, Eric Jones. Justin Haley's now down to 17th place. David Reagan. What could be the final Daytona 500 for Jimmy Johnson, Brendan Gaughan, and David Reagan. As we're coming down to 2 laps to go at Daytona, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Denny Hamlin 3 wide for the lead. Question, though, goes to Keselowski and Johnson. Who do they help? You would think they would help their manufacturer teammate, Keselowski to Harvick and Johnson to Larson, but it's pretty much the opposite of what they're doing right now. Keselowski pushing Kyle Larson out in front in the 42 car. As they come off turn number 4, it will be 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin remain 3 wide for the lead as they take the white flag here in Daytona. Who does the 48 help? Who does the 4 help? Do they make it 4 wide for the lead to win this race? Keselowski clears Kyle Larson. It is now the 2 car. Here comes Johnson making it 3 wide for the lead. Keselowski and Larson, they clear Denny Hamlin. Up in front of the field, Brad Keselowski. Here comes Larson on the bottom. Look at the run of 48 has. Jimmy Johnson out of nowhere makes it 3 wide for the lead. What a run that 48 car had on the bottom in turn 3 and 4. That momentum's going to carry him to the line. And out of nowhere, Jimmy Johnson wins. Dual race number 2. Unbelievable finish here in dual race number 2 at Daytona for the 7-time series champion, Jimmy Johnson. And you see a lot of skid marks here off turn number 2. Appears something to have brought out the caution. And we see a lot of right side damage on the 24 of William Byron. What in the world happened here on the final lap to end this race? And we are hearing that it's involving the 41 of Cole Custer. And there he is right there. So trouble for one of our Rookie of the Year contenders, Cole Custer. Let's go back and get a replay of what happened. Well, Cole Custer's back here racing with William Byron and Eric Jones, and he was not in any safe place, as right here Cole Custer slides up into William Byron, and I don't know, Kurt Busch is going to get into William Byron, and that is a replica of what happened in duel number 1 with Brendan Gaughan and Timmy Hill and J.J. Yaley. Gaughan turned Yaley down into Timmy Hill, and here we have Kurt Busch turning William Byron down into the 41 of Cole Custer, right there head on in the outside wall for the 41 of Cole Custer. Now, because this is the final lap of the Daytona 500, all Cole Custer has to do is cross that finish line. That way he doesn't have to go to the rear of the field, but it looks like Cole Custer is going to finish last in this dual race. So either way, he's going to start virtually pretty much last in the Daytona 500. As you see right there, Cole Custer does go across the line, so he does finish the race. But that is not what Cole Custer and his crew chief Mike Shiblett would like to see of their number 41 Haas Automation Ford Mustang. But what a finish we saw from the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. He was out of it. It was really going to come down between Brad Keselowski and Kyle Larson, and out of nowhere he went from fourth to like first in one turn. Look at that. He passed Hamlin, went around Larson, he went around Keselowski. It looked like Brad and Larson both got loose on that outside, and Johnson took that shorter way around, and what a power move by the 48. That is what he is, a 7-time series champion. Let's go on board with this 48 car. This is pretty incredible of how he did this with no help from behind. See, he enters turn 3 and 4th, passes Hamlin, and Larson and Keselowski lost their momentum. And look at the move by the 48. Kyle Larson can't fight back on the outside. Neither can Keselowski, as the 48 wins. Jimmy Johnson, he'll start 4th in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Now, who races their way in? Daniel Suarez will race his way into the show, as he will finish 10th here in dual race number 2, as does the number 16 of Justin Haley. He will finish 15th. That is good enough to race his way into the show. And that means Brendan Gaughan will start 41st in the Great American Race on Sunday. And that means his number 7 of Justin Allgaier will also race on Sunday from the 42nd starting position. And that will mean the number 99 of Casey Mears and the 53 of Joey Gase, they will not make the Daytona 500 here in 2020. As these cars will go behind the wall, let's take a look at your starting grid for the 62nd running of the Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney will start on the pole alongside Brad Keselowski. We determined that last Sunday in qualifying. But now you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Jimmy Johnson on road number 2. Eric Almirola and Kyle Larson, Clint Bowyer and Kevin Harvick making up the first 4 rows, the first 8 spots. Chris Buescher 9th and Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano your top dozen here from Daytona. As you take a look at the rest of your starting grid, you have Chase Elliott 14th, Tyler Reddick down in 16th, and there is Daniel Suarez. I believe he will be the highest of the open cars on the starting grid. He will start 20th in his number 96 Toyota for Gaunt Brothers Racing. There's Michael McDowell 23rd, Alex Bowman 24th. There's some pretty good names down here outside the top 25. You have Eric Jones, Kurt Busch, William Byron, and obviously Cole Custer will start 40th in the Daytona 500 for Stewart Haas Racing. But that will end all of the racing for tonight at Daytona. So that is all for the Cup Series until the Daytona 500. What's next on this channel will be qualifying for the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoor Truck Series. That will be tomorrow afternoon, followed by the season premiere of the Gander Outdoor Truck Series season opener from Daytona, the NextEra Energy Resources 250. That is tomorrow night here on March of 531. Saturday, we will have Xfinity Series qualifying for the NASCAR Racing Experience 300. And after that will be the season premiere of the Xfinity Series 2020 season opener as well. And then we will conclude Speed Weeks with the running of the 2020 Daytona 500. Until tomorrow, we will see you from Daytona. Congrats to Ryan Blaney and Jimmy Johnson, your winners of the duels here in Daytona. Goodbye, everyone.